to another exciting episode of Cast Pendant. Today, social media and YouTube censorship. Don, want to take us away?
Hello, and today, as you would just have heard, we're talking about social media censorship across all platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and the like. Just to start off, a few famous people that have been censored from social media. So first we have Alex Jones, conspiracy theorist, as he's so called. He was deleted off of all social media platforms, and his channel was deleted from YouTube. Although the podcasts where he featured on the Joe Rogan show are still available to find on YouTube, but you have to dig rather deeply to find the first one that he did. That one is, I think, podcast 9/11, named for the conspiracy surrounding 9/11.
And there's loads of those conspiracies that move around that as well.
Oh, there's a good few, yeah.
And actually, if you actually Google some of them, the ones that you would have heard years ago just seem to up and vanish.
Yeah, definitely.
Just gone.
Who else have we got? Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite a big one.
Is he still going, Donald? Yeah, he's still going.
Yeah, but he's still
in our
going.
predictions one. He's still. It's getting close, is it, or is it gone?
Well, we're nearing the end of the month now, so
I was gonna say, yeah, he could just make it.
We'll see. We'll see. Plenty more Simpsons predictions to be done.
Oh.
But yeah, he was censored. He was banned from Twitter just days before the election in 2020. And that was at a time when I would imagine he would have relied heavily on Twitter to get his points out to his followers.
But to be fair with Donald Trump is that some of the things he was saying was fairly out there for a person who's going to be president. Like
they were, yeah. He went about things in a strange way. But you know, that's not the point of this. The point of this is if an entity such as Twitter could censor the president of the United States just days before an election.
Yeah, it's true. One of the most powerful people on the planet, and basically,
then they could censor
anybody. Oh no, you're not allowed to talk.
Exactly. Then they could censor anybody. They could censor you. They could censor me. In fact, I'm saying they could censor me. They have censored me. I've told you before about this, Smiles. I had a Twitter account with a few thousand followers. I was posting conspiracy-related stuff, and boom, gone. All of a sudden, my account suspended permanently.
They didn't like what you were posting.
No, obviously not.
Ooh.
Sounds like the world today. Doesn't sound like the back talk we're given.
Exactly.
Smiles. Steady.
Do either of you know James Woods, the actor?
Yes.
I've heard of him.
You're Peter Griffin. I'm James Woods.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, his Twitter account was temporarily deleted in 2019 due to a tweet in 2018 that Twitter had found that they said had the potential to be misleading in a way that could impact an election.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah. But sir, that's another thing. It's like did you ever hear about like the directors and everything? Like James Gunn had posted something on Twitter, like I think it was like 6-7 years ago, and they were like, they basically put a ban on his account from like posting anything because of this thing he posted 6 years ago that someone in 2021 took offense to.
Okay.
I was like, wow. And he actually got fired from directing at one point, and he was allowed to come back because so many people signed a petition to bring him back. But
again, with the one with James Woods, I think, you know, if you've got a tweet, if someone's tweeting something that has the potential to sway voters, how a voter would vote, I think that should be totally allowed. Why should it not be allowed?
Yeah, well, that's where the classification of freedom of speech comes in, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Well, I wonder what they did with James Woods. Did they lay candy down on a road on a pathway and then just like put him in a box and ship him off once they found The tweet. Oh, piece of candy.
Well, just think about this, right? Think about this, right? So these people, these like big time people, Donald Trump specifically as well,
Yeah.
are being basically removed from a platform where they can contact the hundreds of thousands, of not millions of people, and without any second thought, without a choice, just like, oh, we don't like that, we're going to remove that.
Yeah.
You know, like the freedom of speech is unfortunately a thing that exists in this world, and since like 2018, that's been going downhill. You can say something that would, as a comedian once said, like, I could say something, you could get offended. Great, you got offended.
Yeah.
Now it's, I say something, you get offended, I'm blocked from saying anything else on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah, your freedom of speech is now taken away.
Yeah, so there's no freedom of speech. That's all a
No.
lie. And if people seem to think that you still have a freedom of speech, you don't.
Well, I've got 3 more here for you. So the next
Oh,
one
just
is,
just one more thing. I should clarify. Freedom of speech, basically, I can say what I want. You can be offended, and you don't need to be a bitch about it.
Yeah.
It's not being
hear that, Karen?
offensive, it's being my opinion.
Yeah, Karen.
Karen.
Big up, Karen.
All of you Karens
No,
crawl
no,
back in
guys,
behind
guys,
the
guys,
woodwork.
guys, guys. Until you go up to the customer service desk and actually serve Karen, you know nothing.
Karen.
I think
So-
I think Marcus, you actually did serve her once.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So I know. I know.
Karen. It's your
Mm.
favorite guest, your favorite customer.
Oh,
Hateful bitch.
right. That's for retail. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Come on, you were saying.
Keep going.
So the next one is another conspiracy theorist called David Icke. We were discussing him earlier, Smiles.
He has multiple publishings, doesn't he? Books, newspapers, stuff
He
like
does,
that.
yeah. A couple of documentaries and things like that, yeah. But YouTube deleted his channel after he'd been uploading videos advocating for COVID being weaponized 5G. 5G being weaponized as COVID, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was there giving speeches about this in like Trafalgar Square and places like that. But yeah, so he got deleted off YouTube as well, censored. Then we have a group of American doctors who, at a press conference on July the 27th, 2020, the group of the doctors were called America's Frontline Doctors. They advocated for hydroxychloroquine as a way of preventing and treating COVID-19. The video was removed from YouTube, even though the drug was being used to some degree of success in other countries. And the US government at this time then put out a statement saying there wasn't any evidence to suggest that hydroxychloroquine was effective in treating COVID.
Which is very interesting because hydroxychloroquine was actually an over-the-counter drug, and as soon as they made that statement, you could no longer buy it over the counter. It suddenly vanished.
Yeah, that's right.
And actually, another interesting thing about this, right? Just based on that, like I read there today in the newspaper, it was saying miracle drug designed to help fight against COVID. Imagine that was say it again.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah,
Hydroxychloroquine.
hydroxychloroquine, right? That, but relabeled. Now, what we've learned is that big tech companies and social networking has actually altered it. It's no longer your freedom of speech or your, like, the truth being spread. It's now falsification, rumors over freedom and understanding.
And what suits their agenda.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so lastly, we have a chap called Steve Bannon, who was a former White House strategist.
Yes, I've heard about this.
And in November of 2020, Bannon was banned from Twitter after posting a tweet calling for the decapitation of Dr. Anthony Fauci. And on January 2021, YouTube removed Bannon's War Room podcast.
Someone should tell them about that other website that's like not run by YouTube and it's meant to be all for, like, speech freedom, stuff like that.
Well, it's funny you say that because I actually have a list of a few of those here.
Well, let us explain these to the public.
So I have a list of what we got here.
Non-censored websites.
5 uncensored social media platforms that you can use instead of Facebook and Twitter and all the other big tech platforms. So we got Parler. That's a good one. I had an account on that myself after my Twitter account was deleted. We've got MeWe, Diaspora, Rumble, and Mastodon. Rumble is another great one, yeah.
Mastodon. Oh,
Mastodon. So that's your free speech uncensored social media platforms. YouTube alternatives are BitChute.
What?
BitChute is a website or an app. You can get an app where you can go onto the internet and type in bitchute.com. Or there's band.video. There's DTube, Vimeo, Live Leak, and 9gag.
And
then we have the five alternative private browsers. So your alternatives to Google and Firefox. So my personal favorite, DuckDuckGo.
These you should also state that DuckDuckGo is actually one of the best ones because it doesn't actually record your browsing history and it doesn't share it with any third-party security firms.
That's right. And in actual fact, most of these ones on this list don't. So we got Disconnected Search, which is search.disconnect.me. And then you got Metager or Metager, so metager.org. And then you got QWant, so qwant.com, and Jibiru, GIBURU.com. So there's your 5 alternative browsers to Google.
DuckDuckGo actually has its own like downloadable browser. So it's not even you need to like link into like one of the original web search engines.
Yeah. But to me, the day that I saw that they censored Donald Trump and removed him from Facebook and Twitter, I thought to myself, well, really, that is the death of free speech. If they can remove the president of the United States from Twitter, that's it. Free speech is dead.
No, I totally agree. I do. It's ridiculous. Like you can't say anything anymore.
No.
Without offending someone. Like, for instance, in England, well, I don't know if they have actually implemented this, but from what I heard, it wasn't talks to be implemented. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I will have to talk to some people I know over there. But they were saying that, like, so it is your right to protest peacefully, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that includes your freedom to speak and to say what you think is on your mind, right? Fair enough, 100%. Well, over there, they are apparently implementing a law where if someone calls the authorities saying, oh, they're going to make too much noise or this is going to be annoying for the neighborhood, kind of like, what the hell is that thing called? Upheaval within the area, right? Then the police are allowed to go in and remove those people as criminals.
Right. See, I saw something very similar to that. And it was like, if you can now, very soon you'll be able to be arrested for protesting.
Yeah.
Like if you're a one-man protester, you can get like £1,000 fine or a year in prison. And if you're like a 5-man protest, you get like 5 years in prison and a £5,000 fine, and so on and so forth. And then I saw that also part of these new, I guess, laws coming in would be that you can't be living a nomadic lifestyle. If you live a nomadic lifestyle, you will be arrested and fined and imprisoned. So you can't live off the grid.
That's because they just want to keep trace of everyone.
Yeah, which makes sense to what we think they want to do, doesn't it? Really, government.
But the big plan now is the best one. I love this one. It's so funny, right? And right, so everyone's going to be listening to this. Everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, right. They're taking away our freedoms. Oh, you don't understand. You don't understand." I was like, when in the last 100 years did you walk into a restaurant, anyone you knew or any of your ancestors walk into a place and have to be asked for private medical information to sit down and have a beer, a dinner, or anything?
Yeah.
The actual legality issues of that are being far flung, overstepped, and no one's paying attention to it. So if I say like, oh, I don't want a vaccine, this is propaganda according to the sources that everyone listens to, the news, which are mainstream propaganda. That's what they are. That's
what they were created for.
News is. It's not just like, oh, if I watch the news, I'll be informed. Denzel Washington said it, right? Denzel Washington said it. He goes, if you watch the news, you're misinformed. If you don't watch it, you're uninformed. So what do? You listen to it because only about 40% of it is actually truth. The rest of it is propaganda to make you fear everything.
Well, look, I saw someone that this was on. What was this on? This was on Parler, and he's basically saying, who knows what to believe. I saw on the news that this whole situation in Afghanistan, that people were running, crying from the Taliban, trying to flee the country. But then he saw another video that someone else in Kabul put a shot of the Afghanistan people greeting the Taliban like brothers and sisters, crying and rejoicing and happy. So, and I'm not saying one thing happened and one thing didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
no, that's fair.
But when you see those kind of conflicted stories, it's like, is the news telling the truth? Because people have got to understand, to the Afghanistans, we've been a brutal force occupying their country for decades.
Yeah.
So we, after that sort of treatment that we've probably given them, the soldiers mainly, to the people, then we're probably the enemy. They probably are happy to see the Taliban, some of them, because they think they're going to get rid of us.
Yeah.
Freedom fighters, that's what the Afghanistan people see the Taliban as, I would imagine.
Well, not all of them, but like,
no, not all of them, but like I'm saying,
like
I was about to say, a lot of Irish people would see the IRA as freedom fighters, whereas a lot of people see them as terrorists.
Yeah. See, that makes sense. Yeah. It's fair.
It's all from your point of view. But yeah,
well, see,
who knows what to believe with the news.
But some people take like social networking ads and news feeds and certain podcasts as like gospel. Oh, this is true. This is one.
Yeah.
No.
No.
No. Like the world as we know it now no longer has privacy, no longer has freedom of speech,
and it no longer has a truthful news media.
That's it. Like, I'm sure there's some industries out there, but like the majority of people are going to look at them and be like, oh no, they're lying, even though they could be probably telling the truth. And some of them are lying, and you're all like, oh, it's the truth.
But they have no credibility. They've lost it. In recent years, since COVID and Donald Trump, a lot of the public has come to realize that the news is full of horse shit.
Oh yeah.
That, if you're looking for news sources, look for independent journalists that don't work for big companies, big news outlets, because they tell the real truth. They're not edited by an editor. Their stories aren't whitewashed.
Yeah.
Like you look at the news. In fairness, not messing around, but you look at the news and how right and wrong they get the weather. Like how wrong, they can get the weather. That's just the start, and then you go and actually watch the news, and you're like,
yeah, but like just like what you're saying there, Marcus. It's like they say it's going to be raining, it's sunny. You're going to be like, oh, they're just bad at telling the weather. No, they're fucking shit.
Yeah.
So
they get paid
let's say they're using satellites with high-end technology to tell you the weather's going to be shit and it's sunny outside. How can they not tell that with high-end technology? So what you're telling me is the other guy next door who's like papers in hand. Right. Well, on today's nude forecast, isn't telling at least 60% bullshit.
Well, you got to remember, like, this is the thing. The news is another media corporation. They're in it to make money, and to make money, they have to get views. And what sells views? Doom, gloom, fucking mockery. Bad things is what sells the papers and the news. So they have to keep reporting bad things.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, speaking of like news, there was I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was iRadio or it was Today FM. I think it was Today FM. But it was online. I was driving up, and this person came on. I didn't hear what they had said because it was just after a song or something. And your man had started apologizing live on air for a misstatement that he made.
Right.
I was like, he was like, it was meant as a genuine joke. I hope no one took offense to this. And obviously, he got a few texts in and stuff. Like, fair enough. Okay, 100%. If it was meant as a joke, and it was actually joking, and to be fair, I didn't hear it, so I don't know. I can't judge that. But if it was a joke and you took offense to it and decided, hey, I'm going to text this in, guys, you have some serious shit wrong with you.
like imagine texting into a radio show to complain about comments.
That offends me.
No one means to cause offense on these shows.
No,
you just having a laugh.
Why have you literally, like, in fairness, you're sitting, obviously, because you're not in a car because you can text them in. You're sitting listening to the fucking radio. You obviously have nothing else to do. So what are you going to do? Annoy the fucking radio station? Do you know, like, you're obviously not doing anything if you're sitting.
Nothing better to do.
I have took offense to this iRadio comment because.
But sure, the best one are like the politicians. Like if you call them or text them or something, you know, you want to for your local, like, and you want to find out stuff. It's like they put you on hold constantly.
Ave Maria.
And I think this is the best thing about this, right? Politicians in this country don't care if you're offended by a choice they made. And they don't care what you say because your freedom of speech no longer counts. You post something on Facebook, they see it, or, you know, Facebook sees it because they said, oh, that's, derogatory towards a member of parliament. Take it down. Fair enough. What if you say it in a nicer way, you know, politely and whatever, like, oh, I think they're doing a terrible job. If they seem fit to basically be like, no, that could actually, you know, deprecate their, you know, position, they'll delete that. You could say it as nice as a daisy wrapped in a pork blanket or something. Fucking delicious.
Ooh.
But
whoa,
it does not matter because if they don't like it, it ain't staying.
No like it. No like it.
Don's Twitter page with 4,000, 5,000 followers on it, and it was just
11,000.
11,000.
You see what it was is like every day I'd go on it and there'd be like 50 less followers and 100 less followers the next day, then another 100 less followers the next day. And then one day I went on it and it was just, I signed in and it said, this account has been suspended, deleted or something. Yeah, deleted. And I could get in, but I couldn't see my posts. And I could see no followers and no one I was following. It just said 0.
That's just stupid. That is.
Yeah.
Twitter used to be so much better back in the day.
All right, so here's one for you. Right? Freedom of speech. What would you have said, say, 15 years ago? Did someone would have just turned around and be like, fuck off? Versus now, if you had said it. Just
like what? What do you mean?
I was only 8 now, to be fair.
Well, okay, fair. Marcus.
I know. I'll try.
Or you will drop it back a little bit. We'll go maybe 6 years
10.
ago.
All right. But what we talking about here?
Like if you said something to insult, like I turned to someone, I don't know, you pansy bastard. Right. When I was in,
go on then.
You know, when I was in school, these people would be like, oh, you prick. You know, they return an insult, like, you know, now it's like, you pansy bastard. You can't say that. That's insulting to everyone I was like, why?
Who is a pansy?
Calling you a pansy. Now, yes,
See-
and no, that's not meant to be offensive to anyone. If you do take offense, go fuck off.
Don't call in to us or anything. We're not going to
They
answer.
won't answer that.
You're just going to get Ave Maria by me the whole way for next like 3 hours.
See, I used to listen to Eminem a lot, and he says faggot as a diss to people.
Yeah.
And like when he says it, he explained it like he doesn't mean it in a homophobic way. That's just a way of dissing someone. But that's what I used to say a lot. And I mean, if I said that to someone now, they'd probably be like, oh, "You can't say that." I'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "I can say it. You're just offended by it."
Say that.
Why not?
Like it's no.
That's the worst thing. It's like, why not? Like,
He's right.
I don't like
it
anyone can call me anything. And I could have a customer call me a cunt, and I just be like, thanks.
Is
Doesn't
this
bother
one of
me.
the 10 Commandments? Did Moses bring this down from his speech with God?
Oh,
No, it's
You
number
can't
11.
say that. Yeah, like Ricky
They
Gervais, I
should-
think said, "Go on,
oh, sorry. They should not call someone a faggot.
thou shalt not call someone a faggot."
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, but like, what did Ricky Gervais say?
He was like, I watched something, you watched something. I found it funny, you found it offensive. That's why I'm happier than you. Yeah,
He is brilliant though.
he's funny. He's ruthless. Did you see him doing
He
the
is.
speech about? Tell me you saw him doing the Golden Globe speech about Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh man,
Yeah.
love it.
Oh my
Go,
God,
Jeffrey. If you want to hear more about Jeffrey,
Oh,
Have
he
a look.
slated that, and that, yeah, that was just crazy. I remember watching that, thinking this guy's going to get himself killed.
he doesn't give a fuck. It's great.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, no, he
Great to have
doesn't.
someone like that.
But like, he's also very right. He's very straight to the point, very direct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally understand. He's that kind of
I love-
person.
I loved seeing some of the actors' faces when he said about them having to come on their own jets tonight instead of Jeffrey Epstein's to the Golden Globes. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Very good. I actually have another point of like kind of censorship as well. Just came
Yeah.
into my
Yeah,
head.
go on.
A bit of raw and uncut kind of style. Because I'm obviously, as you know, a big Oasis fan from the Avatar. Back in the 90s, Noel Gallagher came out and said that taking drugs in England at the time was like having a cup of tea. It's as popular.
Yeah.
And the Parliament absolutely slaughtered him for it.
Oh yeah.
No,
Like they were just like, no, you're just, you're spoiled little brat and all that.
You can't say that. Can't do this.
Yeah, like that was back in the 90s. They're having a go at him.
Yeah, well,
I was like,
that was kind of when it all started, wasn't it? 90s would be when computers and social networking kind of started becoming a thing, and then when the early 2000s hit, it kind of took off with like big businesses and everything. Now we're like 20 years on. Jesus Christ, 20 years on.
It's just dawned. It's just dawned and smiles.
Oh.
He's just staring into the distance.
They're into the abyss that is life. But
He'll
anyway,
soon be 30.
well, it's 29. But but like that's just it. Like you can't say anything anymore. You can't do anything anymore. Well,
No, you're always gonna
besides what's
offend
happening,
someone.
but like
You're always going to offend someone with what you say, ain't you? You got to watch yourself nowadays.
there's actually a really good one that was actually censored that many people probably won't hear, right? And it wasn't on the news. It was actually on a side one called Grift Media, right? Now, Grift Media is, yes, an independent media source. It is sponsored or sponsored by the people that donate money to it to keep it running. He's an independent
Right.
researcher. He's also like well-spoken. He is I think he has like a team of 7 or 8 of them working with it. He probably has more than that, but yeah. And he does brilliant work because the news that he brings out will not be talked about on public media like RTE or 3 or TG Car. It will
Virgin
not
Media.
come out. Yeah, it won't come out. Like, for instance, he came out with one there ages back and YouTube censored this one, right? I've seen it and YouTube censored it. So did Facebook, actually. So apparently there was this may annoy people, but like a trans person, right? They committed a sexual act that involved involved a young woman, and
Mhm.
now I don't care about the whole gender thing. I'm just stating this is the character, right? They were put into a full female prison in Limerick
Right.
and still had the male organs.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough. I understand the whole transition thing. But obviously, like, you know, where does that stand in that? No one was kind of taking it up. No newsfeed was taking it up. No politician was talking about it. No police forces were talking about it. Even though this was
Yeah.
going ahead, it was being pushed in slowly and quietly behind the banks. It was no one was listening. No one knew. And then Grift came out and they stated it. And they had the video, the footage, everything, and even pictures of this person were even like censored. So you can't find them anywhere.
Right. Okay.
Now, from what I heard,
Strange.
because it was released by Grip Media and they were brought to court and everything, they managed to, like, the court went in their favor. They were like, no, it's news, it has to be spread out like that. It's not like they're breaking any laws.
Yeah.
Which is why we come back to the point of freedom of speech. If freedom of speech is controlled, it doesn't matter if you're breaking the laws, you're not allowed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like I think they're like they are held in solitary now, separate to that prison anyway. But like, yeah, so they got into shit for this. But an independent media source was taken to court by state for covering something our news wouldn't cover because bad media, bad publicity.
Yeah. That's
It's
crazy, isn't it?
damaging. And I'm like, and there's still people out there that think RT is a great newsfeed.
Oh there's still people out there that think BBC One is a great one. BBC is a government-run TV program. That's it, Mark. You have a good old jam session there.
Oh, jeez, yeah. BBC
Mark
One's
is
the best
raving.
one.
But like,
Ladies.
as I said, like there's no offense to anyone with that sentence. I'm simply saying this was a news feed coverage that was covered by an independent news organization and like people, reporters, that our actual news media would not cover. Facebook wouldn't cover, even like it wouldn't let it be shared. It blocked it. You couldn't click in and watch it on their website. You couldn't click in and watch it on. Well, you could click in and watch it on their website, but you couldn't click it on Facebook and watch it. You couldn't click it into YouTube and watch it. Couldn't click into Twitter and watch it. It was blocked everywhere. And the best thing, the best part about it is, right, if you had a VPN and you said you were in England, you could watch the video.
Right.
It was only in the Republic of Ireland that it was actually censored.
It's mad, isn't it?
And thank you to our sponsors today, NordVPN, for sponsoring this video. Cheers for that money,
love,
Nord.
Nord.
Go on.
I mean, I'd love to get a sponsorship from one of these guys.
Yeah, and he is. I'll shout you out.
Yeah, just send us all on one of them, free VPNs.
Yeah, definitely. The yearly pass.
Yeah. Look, they're just getting free advertising out of us now.
Come on, I know. Get back to the topic. We're not getting on first. Come on.
But yeah,
I think that was a good point. Just saying.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's sad. You know, the times of being able to say what you want and not have to worry about being kicked off of a social media platform or having your YouTube channel deleted.
Just
crazy.
Just give it another 10 years and what's going to happen? You're going to say something in your house to one of your mates who can handle a joke. It's like the fucking SWAT team will come through the window. Smash, get down on the ground.
So, well, it probably won't be too dissimilar to what we were talking about earlier about the book 1984 by George Orwell. You know, it's
a totalitarian race of version of Earth.
Yeah. And there's something called the thought police. And if you think, there's basically no free thinking. If you think something you're not supposed to think, the thought police know about it and they come and take you away and they probably kill you because you're never really seen again. But yeah.
I'm going to have to read this now. What was the book? 1984?
Yeah, George Orwell. Very, very well-known book. Like, it's probably it's probably in the list of top 10 books of all time, I would imagine.
I should probably state, like, at the same time, like, some people are going to listen to this and they're going to be like, these guys are fucking crazy. They're nuts. They're like conspiracy theorists. And it's like a conspiracy theorist is a person who is like, talking about theories that may, be slightly outside the world of like truth and belief. The majority of the stuff we're talking about is happening, will be happening, and if no
I
one
think-
can see that, we're sorry.
If people think we're conspiracy theorists, then they're the real conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, that's actually a good way of looking at it, Marcus. Very good way of looking at it.
Thank you.
I'm sure there's a certain person in our local who is just like, he's shouting down from the checkouts again. I had to slip it in.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's a sad day when you got to be worried about what you can say in it,
It's true. It's true.
and who you're going to offend, whether you're going to be arrested because you're protesting something. What about the point when the government gets too powerful or the government misuses their power and you no longer have a right to protest, even peaceful protest? What then? You're fucked.
No. They'll sit back. They'll go, it's grand.
That's the difference with Irish to other places.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. Lads, the house on fire. Sure, it'll be grand. Bit of heat.
The ones with a bit of sense died out many years ago.
Who
said that? I can sense the offensive meter just slowly building up past 100. Someone's going to leave a comment and be like, "You guys are a shower of bastards," and we're just going to be like, "Thank you."
If you'd like to keep going with your comment, you can email us to wedon'tgiveafuck@gmail.com.
Whoa.
Censor that,
if we wait just a little longer, maybe a fuck will fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
And I can give it to you.
That's such a good meme.
Oh shit. Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was quite good, quite funny.
Right. Well, we are coming to an end. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Weren't too offended and could actually experience the laugh joking times of the past in the 90s with us here in 2021. Good luck, good night, goodbye, and see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
See ya, bye.